The New Jersey Devils have themselves a day off, so this is a pretty good opportunity to just check in, see what's going on, and talk about one of the stories that involves my second favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, not everything in New Jersey has been all good for the team on the ice. They've been winning some games, they've been losing other games, and when you lose to teams like Arizona, Ottawa, and Buffalo, you really start to get a handle as to where the team's going. But either way, what I wanted to do with this off day was focus on one of the better players that has, in a way, revitalized his career as a member of the Devils. Today we are talking about former Montreal Canadiens goaltender Jake Allen and his comments in a recent article wherein he talks about his time in Montreal and he talks about the trade. Before we dive into that though, let's go over the stats. Jake Allen with the Montreal Canadiens had an .892 save percentage and a .365 goals against this season. Pretty big fall from grace from the .905 and the .907 save percentage he initially had with the team 2-3 years ago. But ever since he was the, let's just say, second in command behind Carey Price, there's a pretty well-defined role that Allen had in the organization. He would be the veteran leadership goaltender, and even after Carey Price left, there were a few other names that entered the rotation, and thus Jake Allen was never really a solidified number one, but he was there. And he was alright. He'd have a few showings here and there where he would absolutely steal the game, but as his numbers declined, as the Canadiens didn't really progress much in the standings, you saw Jake Allen sort of wear out his welcome with this team, especially since there were other goaltenders that were doing good things and younger as well. So when Jake Allen was sent over to the New Jersey Devils, a lot of people saw this as a desperate move for Jersey. Hey, they just got rid of their goaltenders in Vanecek, they got Kaapo Kähkönen, they acquired Jake Allen. This is a team that needed to shake up their goaltending, and for really good reason too. Heading over to the Devils and their goaltending this year, I mean, Akira Schmid, .895, Nico Daws, .894, Vitek Vanecek, .890. These guys have stunk. And to be fair, when it comes to the new guys, Kaapo Kähkönen has come in with a .934 save percentage in 3 games played, definitely not bad. And Jake Allen, in the 7 games that he has had, he's put up a .923 save percentage and a .259 goals against. These are some of the best numbers Allen has had in years. He hasn't been as good since he was the St. Louis Blues backup in 2019-20 after winning the Stanley Cup. Allen has been amazing in New Jersey, and even though he doesn't get all the wins, he's still gone out there with a fairly solid number, and it's gotten to the point here to where you have an article published on the Montreal Gazette from the Canadian press where Jake Allen talks about the trade. He says this: "Sometimes you've got to be a little bit selfish. I love my time as a Hab, and I'll always cherish that. I put on the most special jersey in hockey in my books, but you realize in your career, it doesn't last forever." Let's go out there and read what Allen has to say in regards to the trade. The article opens up, by the way, link in the description if you want to read this yourself. The article talks about the Canadiens being in rebuild mode, how they had Jake Allen, how the Devils were looking for a goaltender, yada yada yada. When the club that finished with 112 points and made the second round of the playoffs in 22-23 was badly hampered this season with poor play from Vanecek, Daws, and Schmid, each netminder owned save percentages below .900, the Devils circled back to Jake Allen. And Allen changed his tune. We talked about this in a video after the trade deadline, but it did turn out that Jake Allen had the Devils on his no-trade list. He rejected some sort of a move over there, but after the Devils came circling back and after it was revealed pretty much that New Jersey was desperate to make a trade, then Jake Allen was like, okay, fine, we'll go out there, we'll make this trade, let's just do it. Allen spoke out about this notion here. "I love my time as a Hab, I'll always cherish that, it doesn't last forever. You've got to make decisions sometimes. Sometimes you've got to be a little bit selfish," said Jake Allen. "Look yourself in the mirror and wonder what's best for you and your family." Apart from playing meaningful hockey on a team trying to claw its way back into the Eastern Conference playoff race, probably not going to happen, but we'll see, the trade gave him more runway to get his family settled in a new city instead of waiting to see what this summer's crowded goalie market might bring. He's also been really good for his new team. And included are some comments made by people within the Devils organization. Travis Green said that, hey, Jake Allen is a real pro. Captain Nico Hischier said that he makes the saves we need to get the momentum back. If you have a solid goalie in net, that makes your work a lot easier. I thought this was a good opportunity to come and play the rest of the year, play some games, Allen said. It's been a good start. And what I really like about this article is it doesn't really try to sugarcoat what the Montreal situation for Jake Allen would have done to him and his family, because, look, Jake Allen's got 3 kids, 3 daughters, so when you're in a situation like Montreal, where you're one of 3 goalies, you're rotating around, you're not really too sure where your future is going to be, short term at the very least, it makes it a little uncertain for not just you, but for your family members as well, as to whether or not you're going to be sticking around, whether or not these girls are going to be able to keep the same friends through the summer, and if they're going to be able to see them next year. So now, get traded to New Jersey, be a part of a team where, admittedly, the on-ice result is a tad better. I'm not going to say, like, extraordinarily better than Montreal. The Devils are only a few spots up in the standings, but there is some more meaningful hockey being played in New Jersey compared to the Habs at this time of the year. And you're now the number 1. Maybe number 2 at best if you want to put all your stock into Kaapo Kähkönen. But this team needed some extra goaltending support. The Habs had quite a bit of it, and Allen, for some reason, is now playing better in New Jersey than he had with the Montreal Canadiens this season. It's an odd package of variables that all come together to bode the perfect situation here for Jake Allen. So for him to be put in this spot and to actually succeed, it's kind of a win-win for everybody involved. It's a win for the Devils because they got themselves their guy. It's a win for the Canadiens because they finally unloaded one of their 3 goaltenders. It's a win for Allen and his family because now they have themselves this, let's just say, more secure, projectable timeline of what 23-24 and what 24-25 is going to look like. And of course, the Canadiens, they got themselves a draft pick. So that's always a good plus to see. Kent Hughes was always saying that Jake Allen wouldn't be traded just for the sake of getting traded. If he does get moved, it's going to be because the Canadiens see a package that they like. And honestly, the fact that the return was just 1 third-round pick makes me kind of think that Kent Hughes was capping a little bit. I mean, what, no team was offering at least a third for Jake Allen earlier in the year? I don't know if I buy that 110%. Maybe the Canadiens just got impatient, but either way, they still got the pick. So, what are you going to do? At the end of the day, though, Jake Allen, who is signed on to the end of 2024-2025, making $1.9 million a year against the New Jersey Devils cap, because there was salary retained on his contract with Montreal, this is going to be a pretty good spot for him and his folks heading into next season. Assuming, of course, Kaapo Kähkönen doesn't go beast mode and completely takes over the number 1 spot in net next season, Allen, who is 33 years old, and definitely in the latter half of his NHL career, will have himself one more hurrah, this time with a team that hopefully is able to be a bit better. I mean, we have seen some other Devils fans with pretty strong sentiments saying things like, oh, if we had just made a trade earlier in the year, if we had just gotten this caliber of goaltending in, let's just say, January, we'd be in a playoff spot by now. We would be in the dance. If we just had capable goaltending and not had to rely on Vitek Vanacek, who was leaking in goals left, right, and center, Nico Daws and Akira Schmid, who are doing the same thing, then we probably would be fine. So, I don't know, is this one of those cases where it's like, yeah, we wouldn't have waived a third-round pick to trade for Allen 2 months ago, but man, we should have done that earlier. Like, I don't know if that's really the right way to think about it. Again, I don't know if the Canadiens would have been okay with just a third-round pick for Jake Allen, let's say if it was back in November or something, but either way, that's the trade that got done. Allen himself seems to be in a really good spot, and I think the Devils are also winning in this situation as well. Maybe not literally, they're still losing games to Buffalo and Arizona and Ottawa and everything, but still, there are some good results to have once in a while. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Jake Allen speaking out about his time in Montreal and about the trade, and where you think his career is going to go with respect to the New Jersey Devils over the next season and a bit. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.